Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Lethe, and I'm just looking at this side of our city. We've got this kind of hodgepodge of buildings that we had placed in a few different episodes. It's kind of come together over time. I know we had originally had some French buildings in there and we got rid of those. And then in the last part, we moved our bus depot over to this area, or what it's actually called, bus station, which is a little bit more out of the way. And I think just works a whole lot better for what we're doing over here. I was messing around and I realized that this is some prime real estate. It's prime real estate that's taken up by a massive high school, which by the way is at full capacity, and a massive stadium, which although is attractive, we could do better than this. I mean, I think we could do better. And then I was just looking and I was like, it's strange that this building is looking to the backs of these buildings and that these buildings are so high. So I've got an idea and I just need you to go with me on this journey. I think we're going to redevelop at least this portion of this raised area of McDry. And then I also think that Sycamore, Glen, and the neighboring, I think this is a part of Washington Glade, I think these both need to change. I also downloaded a new mod that organizes our buildings by low, medium, high density, and then adds in the mixed use housing as its own type of organization or own tab, and I like that so much more. I think it just works a lot better. So I'm looking at this now. I think basically I want to remove, these are American style, so I'm fine with those. Some of these are American style, but I think what I want to do is I want to actually completely remove everyone who lives in Sycamore Glen. It's 800 people, so that's a number of them, but let's just kind of redevelop Sycamore Glen real quick. I'm also going to go ahead and remove basically all of these alleyways that we had added in because I think we could do better than this. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Say goodbye, say goodbye. Let's also get rid of all the zoning along this road. I just think it's time for it to go. This dead end road, this can go as well. So now we've very much simplified what's going on here. And then I thought I would like to try to make an adjustment. And for now, I think the adjustment is going to be for this latter half. So if we were to pause and temporarily remove this road, and then we were to come back in here, don't worry guys, you're going to get your buildings right back, I promise. We're going to put trees on the left side. And I'm essentially going to follow this curve as I'd like it to be as close as possible. I'd even go as far as saying, like, let's remove all snap twos so we can really get this to do what we want. Now the question is, do we do a double intersection here? I think that would be horrendous. I definitely don't think I want to do that. So instead, invalid shape. Let's go ahead and turn everything off and let's upgrade, turn off these replace upgrades. And instead, how do I make it so like we don't have, yes, we want it nice and flat. We do need a connection so that these buses can get back to where they need to go. So we are going to place this back here. And I think for the sake of moving our buses quickly, what if we were to come in here and give them like their own dedicated turn lane? Like so. We could remove basically all of these crosswalks. They're unnecessary. And we could limit the turns here so that you don't turn that way. You only turn that way. I was messing around and I realized if we upgrade this road here to have a key wall instead of a sound barrier like we currently have on the road below, then when we remove this sound barrier, we get rid of the really harsh shadow. That is just a mess. But then I also think I should be able to, let's make this brush size really tiny. I should be able to level it out kind of exactly to where this key wall goes. Now, is it somewhat strange that we have like a double-decker road almost? Yeah, a little bit. But I think right off the bat, this looks way better. You know what? Let's remove it all the way. Let's get a little crazy. Let's completely remove it. Now, why does that still have some strange shadowing going on? It's very much clipping right through. That's not supposed to happen. This might mean we have to make a few small adjustments, so just bear with me. Okay, so I went in and I did some rock work and I think just try to cover up any of the blemishes. Now, I still have a few blemishes here that I have to deal with, but I think we're gonna have to move this bus station. Also, what is going on with you guys? That's a unique way of transporting people. Strange. All right, but I will say this looks a lot better. Just having it be a like rock wall along the side here. Now, to fix some of this clipping, when you're out here, you can't really notice it, which is what really matters. This is where we're viewing the city most of the time. I can't really get the terrain tool to be small enough to fall right in between where this path is. The roads are a bit larger, so we kind of can disguise that cliff. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be possible with how thin the path is. So what I've done is I just went through, at least on this back side here, and I added in a like texture. What is it actually called? A surface. So I added in the grass surface 1. And I think from like this view and up here, you can kind of forgive some of those clipping issues. So what I want to do before we go any further is I think I need to take this building because it's falling into this rock wall and it just doesn't look right. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift it and we are going to rotate this building. First, let's turn off anarchy and then let's go ahead and move this guy over to this road. Now, that is going to cause an issue where they have to go past and then go back through. So it's going to mean that we do need to flip this one way. So we want to do a one-way road going this way all the way around to here, which then lets people reconnect and get out this way. I think what we could also do is upgrade these two to just being a one-lane, one-way road. And then from here forward, we'll upgrade this to be a one-lane, one-way road up until you get to the intersection. Now, let's go ahead and make sure all of this has trees. And for now, we're going to make it the boring, bland base game trees until we figure out what we want to do. But I don't want to use the fancy trees just yet. So now all of this has trees. And I think that's going to work a lot better. We also have this crosswalk here so people can get off these buses and walk along this pathway. Let me go ahead and just clear out all of these trees and prep our land because I think that's going to make this a lot easier to do here in a second. Okay, so I've done a little bit of kind of reworking here. I took Barlow Street, which was running kind of through this section of the city, and I extended it past these sports complexes, and then when I brought it around this way to give us our wall, I just sent it straight across and down. This opens up this newer area for us to work in and just gives us another space to kind of build out this section of the city. I think this is going to look so much nicer once we kind of figure out the right way to set this all up. I also am thinking that Sycamore Street could reasonably connect into this Mulberry Highway section we have, and then we turn this element into a regular road. So let's go ahead and actually just do that now while I'm thinking about it. I think we can probably delete this, 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 and this. And I might even go as far as deleting both of these. What we would do instead is take this section of the road, which has lost its name. I think this is still technically Mulberry Street or whatever it said. We're going to send this right on through, and we're even going to get rid of this here. And then this piece, this section of road, I'm going to have connect to the highway section we already have built. Oh, I wanted to turn that. Let's back this up. Okay, no, this is Sycamore Street again. Okay, great. Now, this makes me question, is it valuable to have this be a highway at this point. I don't know if it still is. Or if we do have it be a highway, I think the highway section... Do we have any... Let's back up. Are there any buses that use this road? No. So I actually think that this right here can just be deleted. We'll leave this strange little end here, but we'll keep this all as trees. And we'll now just have Sycamore Street be a somewhat like kind of regional highway that's connected over and in, but then once it reaches here, it becomes a normal 2-lane road and just fills into the rest. I think that just looks a little bit nicer. It does... Oh no, this is not a cul-de-sac. We've got multiple entrances to Linden Crest. And I think that might have been why we initially had done it in this way, but I think it looks pretty nice. And then let's go ahead and just smooth out some of this land. We've got a bunch of things that have changed here. Let's give this a bit of a smooth and see what we end up with. I think that's going to be more than enough there. And then here, I do want to make sure we maintain this really straight edge. There are a ton of people here. I wonder if that's from... Oh, that's from the college and all the houses we removed. Oh my gosh. Okay, while this is playing, let's go ahead and remove this pathway. I don't think that's valuable. It has also caused an issue with this road. So let's just go ahead and delete this road. Let's build a new one. 2-lane road. Keep all of our snap twos on. And send it straight on down. Bam. There we go. Much better. Now, let's reimagine this area. So I am thinking Garnet Street and Barlow Street could come together and connect midway through everything here. Let's send a road straight on out. Then I think what we're going to do is let's make this a curvy road. Let's go like this and connect it in right here. And give us a brand new connection here, which I think looks really nice. So now we need to rebuild out these areas. We've got everything kind of organized. We've got a brand new Mulberry Highway, which I think gets people onto the highway much faster. And I think this is just a better setup all around. So let's go ahead in here, and I want to figure out the right way to kind of orient all of these roads. I do want to use these new 2-lane angled parking roads. So I'm going to take this one. What's the difference between this and this? Angled parking alley. So this is 3 tiles. The angled parking alley is also 3 tiles. Here, let's do this. Let's build both of these and just get a sense of the difference. So this is the angled parking alley. And then this is the angled parking road. I bet you that has sidewalks and that doesn't. Yep. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want to take the angled parking road and I want to send it directly through the center here. So we have parking on both sides. Similarly, I'm going to do the same thing over here. We're going to send this at a 90 right on through so we have parking on both sides. All right. And then we're going to use the key wall to force all the zoning into the center here. I want everyone living here to be living in the center. There we go. And turn anarchy off for all of this. Does not need anarchy. And this all has trees on those sides. Perfect. And then we're going to come in here and I'm just going to do row homes. And we're also going to get rid of all of this. That way people have to build facing inward. I like that a lot better. There we go. So that's going to fill in. I think that makes a lot of sense. I will say these ones right here at the front, we're going to turn into maybe UK mixed housing. Because we're against the train station, I don't know if I want those to be regular homes. So let's go ahead and just delete what we've got and let that fill in from there. This is going to begin to fill in nicely. We can then go ahead and place some zoning behind the buildings that are already filled in. Looking good, looking good. We're just going to let that run. While that's filling in, that is technically Washington, which this school functions in. But we don't have An elementary school. Does Washington have any elementary schools? It has Manor Acres Elementary School, which is at total capacity, which is right here. And then it also has high school. It's got 2 high schools. Is this a capacity? Nearly. Okay. So I think what we need to do is we need to build an elementary school in this area. Let's go in here and let's grab... I don't know if I want the city elementary school, but I wouldn't mind community elementary school, though it has very low enrollment. Urban elementary school. Let's try this out. We're going to want to have it snap to the roads. It can't fit back here, but we could potentially replace this community pool with the elementary school. So I would say, what if we moved the community pool? Can it fit here? Unfortunately, it cannot. What if we move the community pool? If we zoom out, most of this area is struggling with parks and recreation. So we could probably put it somewhere else. But I'm going to place it along this road. We're going to place it down here. I think it makes sense being closer to the ground level, and that's pretty flat, I mean, relatively. Let's go ahead and use this urban elementary school. This is so exciting. I've not used this yet. I'm very excited to see this asset. So we could face it onto the Cooper Street, or we could face it onto Barlow. I think I want to face it onto Barlow Street. Wow. Oh, that's actually a fantastic asset. It also gives us the opportunity to potentially, hold on. Could we find a way to squeeze this in here? If we turn everything off. Now, it's not enough space. Okay. Can we fit a pathway in here? We can. So let's do that. We're going to place the path here. And we're going to place the path kind of straight on down. It will connect into this road here. Now, technically, I have a key wall on this road, which makes it challenging for this path to work, but we'll pretend those are steps. Very, very steep steps. Okay. We now have this school. It's immediately full. It is going to support Washington Glade and Sycamore Glen. This is probably all the way full. It is. Let's see if we can give it some upgrades. We have an urban playground. We also have an extension wing, which adds an additional 500 students. It will replace the back of this building, which looks to be 2 playgrounds. Moves it up a little bit. I'm fine with that. And then let's go ahead and do the urban playground on the roof. Why not? I think it's a beautiful, beautiful building. Now, unlike our previous episodes, I think we're going to get a little bit detail-y in this. I don't see why we wouldn't. Let's use a new line tool. And let's do adult or mature size trees all the way along that edge there. I think that looks nice. Let's go back to just a regular single placement. And let's just fill in this area with a few different trees. I think that looks kind of nice. Let's turn energy back off. This is fantastic. It's not fully full yet, so that's still working in our favor, which is good. We have this welfare office, and I'm almost certain there's another welfare office. Citizen Service Center, Welfare for Citizens, Employment Guidance, and conducts various businesses for the public. There's also Welfare Office, Modern City Hall, and French City Hall. But so I think this functions pretty similarly to the other building. I'd say let's try this one out because it's brand new. Let's get rid of that building and let's instead put down the Citizen Services Center. I think we'll place this. It can't fit this way, but it can fit along this side road, or it could fit along Emerson Street. I'm going to place it along Emerson. It's relatively flat. It's a beautiful looking building. This is the Washington Glade Post Office. Functions in a lot more than just Washington Glade. That is a gorgeous building. And I think right behind this building, we're going to place a decent amount of parking. I think just a building like this would have somewhat, I'd say, substantial parking infrastructure. We're going to place this right here in the middle, although it doesn't line up, but that's okay. And then I'm going to use trees to kind of disguise any of the mistakes here. Let's see if we can find one that naturally fits into this spot. If we were to do both types of trees, what about the alder? Alder's a little bit too big. The linden, if we do full or almost fully grown, that works pretty well. Can we fit it all the way around? Oh, we can. All right, we're going to just pack this thing in with lindens. So now I've got a parking lot behind this new Citizen Service Center. Now, do we want to limit where it functions? I don't know if we do. I think I'm kind of fine with it. Let's go ahead and place some oaks along here. We do love the oaks. They're great. We're going to do the hickories as well. We're going to do the alders throughout this area. And then I want to do, let's do the birches, something a little bit smaller. All right, we can then go ahead and fill all this in. You can get some housing as well. I like this kind of setup here. I don't like these. Those are not working for me. So instead, let's switch this out to just be low density commercial. Those are just not working for me in their current setup. Does this fill out fully? Great. That works great. And then I'm also going to say, why don't we try to do a little bit of rock detailing behind here? Okay, so now we've got beautiful buildings here coming on in. We've got a little rock wall. That's looking really nice. It's just giving like a traditional American suburb, which I do. I like how I like how this area looks, but I do want to incorporate a little bit more of this style. It just fits our building at the moment. All right. I also want to do some low rent French housing. This is like hands down my favorite housing, period. Nothing is better than this housing type, and I will fight anyone who disagrees. This is so good. We're going to remove that back zoning there. Let that fill in. It's going to look similar to these units all the way over here, which I think is going to be a nice little addition here. Then I think I want to consider doing some small alleyways, but alleyways with parking on them. So what are our options? What is this? Small pedestrian street. A small street where only foot traffic is allowed apart from service and delivery vehicles. Wow. One-way angled parking alley. Honestly, I wouldn't mind these being one way. I'm kind of cool with that. So let's see. If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we place this here, then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we place this here. Actually, I want to be building off of, I think, this road. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Place this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we do a third? I think we do. I have an idea here. So what I would like to do is I would like to turn off these crosswalks, get rid of all of this. Make sure there are no lights on any of these corner pieces. And let's then go ahead and fill in at least the exterior with trees and with grass. Trees and grass. All right, then the interior side, we're going to place the key wall. For now, that's how we're kind of controlling the zoning. I'm sure there's a much better way, but I'm satisfied with this being our approach for now. I'm also going to place it there on Barlow. And then we already have it down here on this section. So now what we're going to do is go back to the medium density row homes. And I'm just going to fill in these areas with these row homes. I would ideally like the row homes to be facing the direction of the street. This will need to be a little different. I think this could be medium density housing right along that road there. And then here, we'll do the same thing with a nice little twofer. We can go ahead and fill this one in, fill this one in. Nobody is zoned here, so it's making me think that this is actually only going to zone that direction. Not ideal. Not ideal. Let's instead remove all of this housing. First things first, can we fit some kind of small park in here? Like we could put a little community park there, which I think is kind of cute. It gives us a little something going on. And maybe what we do, since these are going to be some medium density, maybe what we do is we give them a little commercial access. Just a little bit of commercial going on over here. If you want to come over and, you know, buy a beverage, I don't know, do something, there's a little shop. All right, this is a much better way, I think, of building out Sycamore Glen. Let's go ahead first, though, and move the Sycamore Glen High School. I think this would function better maybe over here. So let's relocate this high school. Actually, right here is the center of this block. Very happy with that. And along this back area, instead of zoning this out, I think what we do is we kind of build our own little park. So let's place a straight road here. Let's also place a straight road here. And then, like, loosely behind the back, we'll place a road. But then can we also try, like, if I were to go like this, what would happen? It kind of deletes a section that I wanted to keep. Okay, let's try it another way. If I brought this down to here, into the center, and then over to the center again, what does that do? That's kind of fun. And we can connect it up that way. That's great. Okay, hold on. Now let's try to make this look beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. That looks so nice. Does this have both upgrades? It does. We're still getting this area of Sycamore Glen to build out this block. Now we're doing a little block by block build, which is kind of crazy. I also think that I want to do the high density, or the low income but high density residential, the French style, along this road as well. I just really enjoy how these buildings fit together. And I think once we have those buildings there, plus once we throw in a bunch of trees, this is going to look really polished and just seem complete. So let's go ahead and just throw in a few trees here. I know this is the right call because we're almost back at the same level of population that we had before, and this whole area is still empty, which is kind of crazy. So now let's kind of just get a sense of what is still needed here. In terms of schools, this elementary school is only functioning, it's functioning in both Washington Glade and Sycamore Glen, but it's full. So let's remove Sycamore Glen from this building. We'll see if that can then adjust to meet the needs of Washington Glade. It might not be able to, and if not, we'll have to build another one. Let's build this community school here. No, I think I'm going to build the city elementary school over in this area. I just think it's needed for this neighborhood, and if we place it here, it could kind of be the beginnings of our density increase to match the rest of this space. So let's go ahead and, for some reason it's letting me put it right on this edge, which seems wrong, but I'm not mad about it. The operating district for this is just going to be Sycamore Glen. Right now, this can hold how many folks? 1,500. So let's see if that's enough. We'll also give them the courtyard playground. Let's give this area a little bit of tree coverage. You know me. I want to see nice, lush, green trees throughout. It also is a great way to just hide some of these mistakes. And I think that I'll do some rogue boulders here. For this, I will turn on anarchy just because it seems to work a lot better. you've got the ability to anarchy this in. That's coming along really nicely. Yes. Keep building, guys. Don't stop. Okay, for this area here, well, presently, this high school has 10 students, which means that this high school being full is entirely because Washington Glade is just huge. So Washington Glade does have an urban elementary school, but it needs a second elementary school. We need another one over here. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and see if we can find a place to do this. We could consider placing an elementary school here, and it could just be the community school. We place this right here in this open space. We select the operating district as Washington Glade. It's kind of the northernmost school. We can give it an extension, and we can give it a community playground. Although that's not going to fit with the current setup, which is fine. Could the community playground go over here? No, it has to attach to this building. All right, then we're going to forego that for now. But now we've got a second elementary school, which could hopefully satisfy the needs of that building. I am also going to just quickly remove the dedicated bus lanes from that section of road. Okay. Just kind of letting this grow in as well. We're almost there. That's at 92%, 95. Over here, 63, 76, 70, and 60. Now, this block is always having issues with zoning. So I am considering turning this block here into some type of actual park. The problem is going to be finding a park that fits, that is not too tiny. We've got Dan's stuff, which is great. What about this dog park? The dog park really fits perfectly right here, although we do have a park right there. But I think let's put the dog park here only because this is always having an issue with zoning, and I'm just kind of tired of it. So let's do this. My right click is not working. Let's get rid of the zoning that's here. Let's go ahead and give this a key wall. Let's give this section of Daffodil a key wall. And let's give this section a key wall. Now actually get rid of the dog park. Get rid of this building as well. And instead, let's leave it with this mixed use. I actually think that's not a bad idea. Now, this block is going to need some more zoning to be useful. Let's place down another mixed use building, and it's going to give some nice height right there. And then along this back area, I'm thinking what I'd like to do, let's see if without using key walls, see if we can just force this on our own. And then if I remove these, does it stay? That's the main question. It does seem to have stayed. I could see some value. We're starting to build up that the height differential, right? Like over here we got some tall buildings, but we're trying to get that slope in place. So I could see some value in some medium density houses. And I wonder if we try one of these medium density UK style small apartment building. What if we place 3 of those? Yeah, why not? Let's see what that looks like. I'm curious. And then what I would like to also do is just potentially build a parking lot. I don't know. I feel like we need a space that's just for cars. It helps break things up, and I think it does look nice when the parking lot is in the right space. This fits perfectly. This is the large parking lot. I think it's going to go right there. It does fit perfectly. I do want to, let's see if we can use move it. I do just want to scooch it over a little bit so it's not touching either side. That works for me. Yeah. Now actually, what I want to do, can I just do this with the building here as is? Can I just force this to all be a certain height? Not really. I don't think that made any difference. But we will go ahead and just smooth this out. Kind of hide that. Now, Olive Lane. We have Chester Lane, Olive Lane, and Grove Lane. And I kind of like the idea of extending those over one additional road. So we were to take this, send it over, but I'm going to go the other way. And then this one, I think we're going to send it this way. And we'll do the same thing with this road. Let's do the NA medium density row housing again. This one's easy because it's just going to go straight there. This one also looks easy because these grids don't line up. And then this one looks easy. So there we go. Now, I don't know what this is. No pedestrian access. Not entirely true, but whatever you say. We're going to go ahead and remove the crosswalks across this street and just confirm that there are no lights on any of those roads there. This is all filling in nicely. If this is going to cause a problem, what we can do instead is utilize some of these brand new tiny parks and kind of fill this space that way. That one's a little bit too big. Urban Pocket Park. It's a 2x2, which is precisely what we're looking for. Bam, Urban Pocket Park. We've got some kiosks. One's on some serious stilts. That's okay. Little Pocket Park. Works great. What was the other option? Pocket Square Park? Pocket Playground? Oh. Oh, let's do the Pocket Playground instead. That just looks more fun. It's not the sturdiest swing set, but it'll do. Let's give it a few trees. Let's really brighten this up a little bit. I'd love to fit an oak in here, but that's not realistic. So let's try to do, let's do an alder if we can. No. Linden's a little bit smaller. Hickory's a little taller. I like that, and we can do that with a linden and get some height change. That's going to fill in. It's going to look similar to this. This just looks so much better as kind of the way that we're leading into the city with our density. Now, this block, I think, is going to just need to be all medium density. I do want to extend this road. Let's just go ahead and do a 2-lane road straight on through at the 90. Then in this central area, I think we're going to do, let's check our school. We're doing okay. I think what we need to consider is that we did remove a high school from McDry. So it has a small post office and it has McDry Elementary School, which is at full capacity and completely packed with students. So we actually need to consider building an additional school over here, which honestly, the city elementary school has the highest possible enrollment, but I think let's do the urban elementary school. Let's place it right here on the corner behind the buses. Yeah. I'm going to place that right there. And then I want to see if I can put a small parking lot of some kind. We have this size, which is great. That's going to be... Oh, that's actually a perfect size. Oh, and then we have this new one, the medium solar panel covered parking lot. Let's place this right here next to this school. This school is going to solely operate in McDry. It's not a part of anything else, so don't get too crazy here. But now we need to re-add in a high school, because if you remember, that was what was originally here, was a high school. So let's see, urban high school. It's so flat. 800 students. Modern high school, 650. City high school, 800. Urban also has 800. Oh, the urban is twice the price. High school, which is the generic one, which was here before, but just took up way too much space. And then we also have a small high school, which is 400. Let's try out the urban high school. Why not? I'm curious if we can like add on to this and grow the height. I would say let's place it along Barlow Street. And let's look at these upgrades that this potentially has. We can do a gym extension, including a pool, basketball court. It's the perfect place for students and surrounding citizens to improve their health. Or we can do an extension wing, which has an additional 800 students. First and foremost, let's select McDry as the operating district. I think we're going to see this fill up relatively quickly because McDry is one of our most populated areas. There is 6,000 people that live in this small section. And it's a very wealthy neighborhood, which is good for them, but they don't have any schools. So they're wealthy, but kind of stupid. There's poorly educated. There's 2,141. Educated is 909. So, but poorly educated is what I think connects to the high school. There's 2,000. So I say, let's give it both of these extensions and see what this looks like. That's a nice building. All right, if we're going to keep it, which, I mean, we are, but I'd say let's put it right in the middle. Then let's go ahead and we're going to use the spruces. And we're going to use the line tool. We're going to increase this spacing to 10. And I'm going to first start over here. And then start this one over here. And we're going to surround the school in trees. Right behind the school, along this road. I wouldn't mind, this is the mixed use American style, which is great, and I like this. However, I'm concerned it might be a little tall. This is more what I'm looking for. This is a 2x4. So let's try to limit this into 2s. Let's do a 2x3, which only gives me a 2x2. Will give me a 2x4. Give me a second 2x4. Is there a 3x2 kind of like longer one? There is. That does leave me with this empty space here on the corner. I'm okay with that. I think what we consider doing is adding in a little park. Let's do this kind of newsstandy park. Let's turn off snap to road. And let's see if we can just manually place this in here without compromising anything. Almost. Almost, but I like that too much to get rid of it. So let's keep that there. And instead of having this building build, we're going to place a path all the way around this. And then, told you, we're getting detailing today, guys. We're going to fill this in with some bushes just to fill the space. We'll do it by hand. I like that it's auto-rotating. It's very helpful. There we go. We've got some trees along there. And then right here in the back of this area, I wouldn't mind trying to squeeze in a tiny little parking lot. But it's got to be small. It's got to be like, I mean, minuscule. You can go there. Do you have to have access on both sides? Or is this the access side? That's the access side. Okay. And then I think, oh, you know what goes here? A mature to elderly oak on both sides. And if we could sneak in an alder or two, I wouldn't hate it. Okay, so that's going to help kind of give us that height that we're looking for. These areas are still somewhat filling in, but this is looking phenomenal. Sycamore Glen now has 2,400 residents, and we have more people living in the city now than we have ever had, which is amazing. This is becoming a bit of an intersection here. I think some of that is related to this parking lot and just the number of people trying to get in here. What we could consider, if we look at the bus routes, we do have a bus going this direction, but we could turn this into a 2-lane, one-way road and force people, although, hold on. I think we're going to force them to go that direction. That is a one-way road, just like this is a one-way road, frankly. Keep it all one way. And then we'll just give this back its key wall designation so that we lose that craziness on the side. You're now saying you don't have any power, which is strange because I see the power. There we go. That might help some. I think we did have some buses despawn, which is not ideal, but look at the number of people here, all streaming into this bus terminal. Holy cow, how many people are here right now? 953 passengers? Okay. Um, the external connection, active vehicles. We have 13. Every single one of them is nearly full. I think we increase this to 17. It's not the right type of bus, but I'm too attached to get rid of it. We do have some decent buses here. There's currently 255 passengers with 12 buses. Most of them have people on them. There's 1, there's 0, there's 0. But how many people are waiting here? 1, 22, 1. Over here we have some full buses, which is great. So I think we're going to leave that one alone. It might have too many buses, but I'm not going to mess with it just yet. Downtown to the airport. People are coming to this stop. Airport District, 181 passengers. And then you come over here, there is 1,000 passengers waiting to get to the airport. Okay. Assigned vehicles, 16. Get as many airport vehicles as you can over here and just start moving those people. That is crazy. Sunset Springs line, decent number of people using this right now. This has 553 passengers on it, but you can see some of them do have full stops, but many of them just have a few people, which is perfect, exactly what we want to see. And then the Sycamore pass-through, 36 passengers here at McDry. It's about to bring this electric bus in. This electric bus currently has 64 people on it. Once you get in here, how many people are left? You have 64 people and 6 pets. Okay, so 50 people got off, and then another 14 got on, and there's still space available. Open up 31. This bus here, this is the external line, I think. Oh, Sunset Springs. 79 people were on that bus. 30-some just got off. I mean, I'm impressed by the number of people on some of these lines. It's amazing. All right, we are having a bit of a traffic issue here, which is just because we are going from a fast road to a very, very slow road. I think it would be valuable, even if we keep the highway set up, it would be valuable to shift this road into a 2-lane road. I want to keep it lined up, but then send it this direction. So we're still keeping our normal highway setup. It's still going to stay a highway, but it's going to be a highway that then allows for you to pick your lane. I think that's helpful. Okay. Yeah. Most of this too, I think, is people moving in. I don't think it's going to be a problem long term. We'll see, but I can't imagine it would be. Let's figure out what we do with this section. So we have this little forest area, which I like. I think it looks nice. I do wonder if we should make this all into kind of a little nature reserve, or if we want to fill in this area some more with these style, like little tiny houses. They're holding 6 residents, but it really increases the number of people who can live in this area. We could do under the regular park, there's a campfire site, which, especially if we extended this to be all a forest with Mulberry Highway going through the forest, that could look kind of nice. We could do a gravel road that connects to here and comes straight on out. Let's grab this campfire site, place it right here, and then get rid of this, and let's look at the gravel parking lot that we now have, because we have 2 of these. We have a small gravel parking lot and we have a medium gravel parking lot. There is some parking here at the front, but I would love to pretend that there's going to be some overflow. So let's place the small gravel parking lot right there. And now I'm just going to fill in this area with trees similar to what we have here. So now I created a new little district here. We've got our little Linden Crest campfire site. This is actually going to be called the Clay Forest Campfire Site. I just picked a random car. Somebody in the car was named Clay Ortega, and so Clay became the name of this little forest. But I like that we have this little area that's just a bit more green and natural. It's kind of a park. People can use it. I think it's going to be beautiful. Let's also go ahead. I wish there was just a dirt path Not a gravel road, not a pedestrian street. I just want a dirt path, but that doesn't seem to exist. So what I'm going to do is I want to connect kind of from here out this way. And we're going to go, oh wait, get rid of that extra bit. I want to come out from here and go to here. Then we want to go to a curved road. And we want to raise this above. Oh, it's beautiful. That's so nice. It also just, it feels like we're really getting the right angles here. Look at the gradient. We love to see it. So that is the new clay forest. I'm very, very happy with this. Also, our traffic has begun to clear out, which is great. And we've now got buses going down this way. It's still doing that weird wobbly thing. This bus has got 0 passengers. This one's got 0. That is totally fine. All right, is anybody happening to walk through this route? I don't know if it would be a particularly popular way to get around. Hear how quiet it is? You can hear so many birds. You can see the opposing city, which is kind of fun. All right, I don't think anyone's using it just yet. I mean, very few people live over this way anyway, so I'm not kind of surprised there. Let's check the noise pollution. Just like out of curiosity, look at that. It's just quiet. That's amazing. I am a fan. Okay, the only other section left is this little bit here around Barlow Street. And then I think off camera, I'm going to go in. I'm going to re-add the rocks I had here. I got rid of them for a moment. I think they just looked better when they were there, so I want to put them back. I'm seeing some homeless people over here at the McDry tennis courts. I wonder if it makes sense to do a lick of housing in this area. Let's grab the alleyway. Let's send the alley straight on up at the 90. We want it to be a perfect 90 all the way up. And then let's also send the alleyway down this way. Just like so. I'm going to remove any of these crosswalks that are crossing this way. I'll keep these two, I think. And we already have these here, but you don't really need access to those. You don't need access to those. You don't need access to those. You can just use that one there. I think that's much better. It's the only downside. It's like I feel like there's a lot of micromanagement you have to do with these crosswalks, which isn't always ideal. I am going to, along the back of this university, put trees and put grass right here, just so you don't park there. And do I just upgrade this to a 2-lane road instead of it being an alley? I think we do, so that we can then go ahead and give this trees and grass along the back edge. This is going to be university housing, is what this is going to become. So this little nub here is going to have no zoning on it. And right here, we're going to have some university housing. I don't think any single family or low density home is going to work. Medium density could work, and we could even do the medium EU density row housing, but I want something a bit more, a little bit more, I think, just like a little bit more. UK high density housing. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I kind of want to use the French low rent housing. I just think this is going to look so good. Let's place some along this road. If I got rid of that, what would happen here? We'd get 2. I don't think this works at that depth. It has to be that depth. All right, for some reason, the right click is not working correctly in this game, and it's becoming noticeable. Okay, that's some European low density. Let's do some EU medium density. What happens if I just go like this? We get one big building. Let's see what happens. I think that's where we're gonna leave this part here. This entire area of the city has been completely redeveloped. I will say I'm really excited about this section of Washington, Glade, and Sycamore because it kind of mirrors what we've done over in these other neighborhoods. So Crestview and Hawthorne Heights, including Elizabeth Square, these areas always used this American style because it's all we had. And seeing that kind of replicated down here is awesome. I like the height of these buildings in context to where we're positioned. We're so close to the water that I think having a huge high rise in front of this tiny train station just doesn't make any sense. And so it feels right to me. I'm kind of waiting for these guys to zone in, so I'll make sure you see that before we're done for the day. But all around, we built out an entirely new area of Washington Glade. We built out an entirely new Sycamore Glen, which just all around looks leaps and bounds better. We redid this area of McDry, and then we dedicated this area to be clay forest, and we have people hopefully one day using this road. I don't see anyone using it now, but it doesn't mean they won't. All right, these are starting to fill in, which is really exciting. I think this is a great size building, and judging by the size of this crane, I think this will be a good size as well. These are going to kind of function as our university housing, and our university, I will say, has increased its enrollment, which is great news. And all around, our city now has more people in it by about 4,000 or 5,000 than we did before we started this massive renovation. But this area just looks so much more polished now, and I finally feel like this part of the city is maybe done. So now we can move on to kind of just growing other areas. I will say, I don't know how you guys feel, I hate Linden Crest. So this neighborhood is up for potential redevelopment. And there's just some small things I want to go through and do. I'd love to decorate this area and give this a little bit more zhuzh. But we'll figure out what those changes will be in a bit. For now, I think this is where we're going to leave this part here. I hope you guys enjoy the new developed area here. Tell me your thoughts and feedback in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.